you know who doesn't need programmatic ads? Our sponsor.
Our sponsor today is Kazna. Welcome to GCP Live, episode number 36 for Friday, the 24th of March, 2023. GCP Live is sponsored by Kazna. At Kazna, we make your Google Cloud solutions possible. And I'm your host, Stephen Bancroft. On today's show, who is the fastest growing cloud vendor? What does the US government want to do with your cloud? Get set for round two. And oh my gosh, what a fortnight in AI. We bring you up to date with all the latest in the AI wars. But before we get to any of that, I want to introduce the co-host of the show, Dave Wall. How you going, Dave?
I'm doing great, mate.
Yeah,
it's done for the week.
Yeah, well, it's nice for some of us, isn't it?
Yeah,
nice for
just
some
very
of us.
happy to be here.
Yeah, I know. We've had a hectic week, that's for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've got to squeeze this show in. Have to get it going. But, yeah, I don't know. What have you been up to in tech adventures?
Ooh, tech adventures.
Yeah, doing anything outside of all the hubbub and stuff we have to do for work.
Yeah, I don't think I've had the bandwidth, right? I've been doing so much in hours stuff and, kind of like late night work on on projects that we're on at the moment. So I haven't had too much in the way of outside tech adventures to deal with. I mean, I got another 3D printer coming, but
that's good. Yeah.
That's about it.
Yeah. Well,
actually, no.
You do have one for me.
No, I do have a little one because thinking about 3D printing just remind me of something. Over the weekend, one of my printers was broken. I was running into a whole bunch of different problems printing it. I was getting frustrated. I ordered like a whole bunch of spare parts, burned through like a couple of my spare parts trying to fix it. Like broke the hot end because I was shorting out the wiring on it. It was just bad. I was just like, what is going on here? Why? I'm tearing this thing down and really cannot fix it. And then I just felt like someone just vaguely mentioned, I replaced this one part. I printed a slightly modified part for my printer and it fixed this problem. So I was like, let's give it a go. It's like a half an hour of printing. It's like 25 cents worth of filament. Fixed it immediately.
Yeah,
I burned through like $300 in parts trying to fix this thing.
Wow.
And it was this one, like a tiny, like an inch by an inch plastic piece that I was able to print myself. It fixed it for me. I'm just glad it's fixed. I'm just glad it's fixed. But
3D printers. That's great when they can print parts to fix themselves.
Yeah, well, thankfully I've got a couple, so I can use them to cross repair each other. Yeah.
It's well, what would you do? Well, I know if I had one and it broke, I'd be like, Dave, can you print this for me?
Yeah.
No idea. That's funny that you say that because I've been playing with some stuff for the kids. One of my kids' Android devices broke. Ooh. Well, specifically what happened, the charger port, just the plastic inside disintegrated and you can't charge it anymore. So it's all over Red Rover for that device. And it was old anyway. So there's an old iPad that we had floating around. So I'll reset that, set that up for her anyway. It's an old Gen 4. It's an old 32-bit model because you can't install any apps on it. It's got a really old version of the OS on it. And I ended up in password purgatory because I couldn't create a family account and I didn't have a new device. We're not an Apple house, right? This is the thing. And a lot of the documentation was saying, well, just go to your newer Apple device and do blah, blah, blah. I'm going, well, I don't have a new Apple device. I've only got this really old one and some really old Apple laptop. It's like, yeah, okay. We're going to give up on that idea. And I thought, I wonder if someone's got a hack to put Android on an iPad. Not quite. There's a project called Sandcastle where they're working on putting Android on iPhones, older model iPhones.
Okay, right.
But not iPads. Haven't quite got there yet. Because it's an old one. You could probably jailbreak it pretty easily now. But so it's just sitting here and it's doing nothing. Like it's being blanked off and you can't really install anything on it. So, yeah, anyway, I ended up digging out a really old Android tablet, and I've just given that to her. But this is the thing, you don't realise, like, she's getting into music now. She's like 12. And so she wanted Spotify. She's got her playlist on Spotify. I was like, okay, all right, Spotify installed. Fantastic. She's got a Fitbit, just a kid's Fitbit, right? So you need to sync that up with an Android device, and you could charge it and use it, but for whatever reason, the time had gone wrong. And the only way to change it is just sync it up. So, well, it's pointless. Without having the time correct, it's kind of pointless. So couldn't use that. The other thing, Spriggy.
Yep.
For whatever reason, you need to have a minimum version of Android to run Spriggy. Right?
Yep.
And so Spriggy won't install on that Android device. So we're at a point now where it's like...
Might be new device time.
Well, it's new device time, I know, but it's like the kids... If they want to participate in the world, they have to have these things.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Really cut off otherwise.
Yeah, like a watch doesn't work without it.
Yeah.
And the other thing was Kids Messenger, right? So that's her communication now.
Yep.
You know, when you and I were growing up, we just pick up the phone, but there's no household phone. We don't even have a household phone. We're all on mobiles. Kids Messenger is the only thing she uses. So without a device, no Kids Messenger, can't even talk to a friend. So she's got to have it, right?
Yeah, I mean, like, at least when I was in high school, we still had, like, MSN, right? We definitely, we used to tie up the phone lines a lot, but at least when you had MSN, it was like, you ran home from school and you just, like, who'd pop up online and who had the latest, like, song lyrics as their, status message. The bad old days.
The bad old days, that's it. Don't get me started on 300 baud modems on Commodore 64s. That was the bad old days.
Signing into your bulletin boards.
That's it, signing into your bulletin boards. They were the bad old days. Outside of that, just getting ready for this trip, and I played around a little bit with Stanford University's Alpaca 7B language model.
Oh, okay. What's so special about that?
Well, we'll get onto that later in the show when we get to the AI wars. But it's quite nifty. You can roll your own LLM. So
very nice.
Yeah, it's very nice.
I was going to say, like, just before this podcast, I got an email from a brewery that's near me.
Oh yeah.
Speaking of like AI, right? So let me pull up their thing. All right. Okay. Unleash the machines. They have an AI generated IPA. And so, the brewers use ChatGPT to come up with the recipe and the blurb for it. And so they've made their first AI crafted beer. Obviously, the brewers had to actually do the work themselves, but the recipe itself was AI generated. And the email that they used to send out to, everyone on their mail list has got the it was written by ChatGPT as well. So so the beer is the Machine Mind, a coloured brew that packs a punch with hoppy flavours of pineapple, grapefruit, and citrus rind, with just a hint of bread, which it's yeast, right?
It's going to be bready. It's going to be bready. Yep.
Yeah. So,
that didn't take them long.
It did not take them long.
Beer. How long before we see other food stuffs hit the shelves?
Give me some AI crumpets.
AI wine. I'm waiting to hear about some AI wine. That'd be nice. Anyway, let's get on with the community news. All right, we've got a few community events coming up. Mentioned this last week, but first cab off the rank is 30th of March in the Casna office in Sydney is the Casna-sponsored GDG, Google Developer Group. Everyone will be welcome to come along to that. You have to go to the meetup, accept the invite in the meetup, in meetup.com, and I'm assuming they'll have the lift open to get to that level, and just come up, and there'll be some signs in the concierge and come up to the level, and then they can buzz you in at the door. There's a buzzer there at the door. So it'll be open to the public. It's a Google, obviously Google Developer Night. So Casna, sponsored by Casna, so we're putting on the food and the drinks and everything like that. Mentioned before, I am going to go to that. You'll see me in our GCP Life swag, and I might jump up and do a little,
dude.
Yeah, do a little bit, talk about GCP Life and whatever's going on. I'm sure Dee will be keen for me to do that. Also, on the 27th of April, we have once again a CASNA-sponsored GDG event in Brisbane, this time at the CASNA. Actually, you need to go to the meetup to find out exactly where that is. But we have JK Gunick, who is actually a good friend of Ian Brown's, who's a friend of the show, who will be talking about serverless React and Go API.
Oh, very nice.
So if that's your thing, then that might be a little bit of a. I know for us at the moment, we're all about networking and infrastructure.
Yeah.
Make a nice change to talk about something that wasn't that.
Completely different, nice palette cleanse. Yeah,
nice palette cleanse. Yeah.
Side note: maybe we should just rename this this segment to just like "What's Ian Brown up to now?" Like it's just. Him and Dee are just prolific at running events. Yeah. And I've given this to you out of chronological order, but this one just landed on my desk. It looks like the 13th of April, another CASNA-sponsored GDG event at Sydney. Don't have any more details on that one at the moment, but that looks like what's going to go ahead. Awesome, and that's all from the community news. Let's move on with the news items. A couple of quick ones here off the top of the rank. VMWARE. We've talked about VMWARE before. VMWARE and Broadcom. I've heard of it, yes.
Yeah. But Broadcom bought VMWARE and...
well, they're trying to.
They're trying to, and EU doesn't like it.
Yeah, the antitrust investigations from multiple markets is taking, I think, a bit longer than they would have hoped.
Yeah. In an article here, which is actually from Finance Yahoo, from Brussels, EU antitrust regulators have extended their decision on US chip maker Broadcom's proposed $61 billion takeover of cloud computing company VMware. Ooh, okay, got them on a technicality there. I wouldn't call them a cloud computing company, but anyway, they extended it by 2 weeks to June 21, the European Commission has said on Tuesday. Dragging their heels. I don't know. Is that what does that send any sort of signal?
There is a note there that the Commission is expected to warn Broadcom about potential anti-competitive effects of the proposed deal in the coming weeks. So there must be something coming through. Maybe they just want a bit more time to lock it down. I don't know. I mean, obviously, I don't know how this is going to play out, but it wouldn't surprise me to see them, maybe they'll want Broadcom to divest of a few things to be able to take on this. Yep. If there's too much of a consolidation going on, especially given the massive entrenched footprint of VMware, like it's in almost every company.
Oh, I know. It gives them fingers in like a lot of pies, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Suddenly they're everywhere. But how? I mean, maybe they'll be asked to fragment it somehow.
Could do.
Or segment it.
Yeah.
How would you do that? Oh, they've got so many products, don't they? So they could sort of split up their, on a product basis.
Usually that's what's going on with the kind of antitrust guys, is they just want to see that there's still competition in the market. So, if you've got too much control, you're going to have too much of the market share. They might say, no, you've got 2 or 3 products that make up the lion's share of the environment. If you take on this product as well, then that's not going to be good for competition. So you might need to divest something else to be able to take this on. Or it might even be they might need to divest parts of VMware. It might be you can have, hypervisors, but you can't have, Tanzu.
Right. No one wants Tanzu, Dave.
I'll give you $20.
Yeah, right. Okay, so sort of split it up a little bit to sort of insert competition in sort of the componentry of the yeah. All right, well, we'll keep an eye on that one, see how that goes. But another little quick one that's that came across here was an article from this just got pinged on me. It's Becker's hospital review, but like this is this is the kind of I wanted to highlight this because this is the kind of reach that these cloud companies have now, right? This is like some random hospital company that's like got an interesting cloud, right? And they've posted this article, right? Now, the good thing about this, it's like a handful of lines, and it just gets to the numbers straight away, right? So they're saying Oracle, SAP, and Google Cloud held onto their top spots as the world's fastest growing cloud providers, right? And the numbers are Oracle, 43%. That surprises me. Right. SAP, 33%. Google Cloud, 32%, more or less on par. Microsoft ServiceNow Workday, 22%. Now, I don't know when they took these numbers. Well, the article's from March 10, but we're going to see a bump in that. If this was taken
might have been the Q4 numbers, maybe?
Could have been the Q4 numbers, yeah, before this AI hubbub came along.
Yeah.
AWS, 20%. Okay, that's, that they've sort of reached a saturation point. And Salesforce, 14%.
So that's actually interesting. So I've gone to the acceleration economy article that this one links to go and have a look at the deeper data, because I figured there had to be a little bit more evidence behind it. And yeah, so Oracle's growth now, surely that can't just be Oracle Cloud, but their revenue, so went up 43% to 3.8 billion versus 7.3 billion for Google Cloud. But I want Oracle as an org would be more than 3.8 billion. So maybe it's just Oracle Cloud.
Yeah, you'd think so.
Yeah, which is still pretty high. Like it's half GCP's numbers. Like,
yeah. But this is the thing: when when you're small, the smaller you are, the more space you've got to grow, right?
Yep.
So their revenue is effectively half of Google Cloud, right?
Yeah.
But you look at the revenue of Microsoft.
27 billion.
It dwarfs the other providers, right?
I look at the ones that are tied in this same list, right? So they had, Microsoft, ServiceNow, and Workday all tied as 22% growth, but Microsoft was 27 billion. ServiceNow was 1.86 billion. That's going. I mean, ServiceNow is pretty expensive. So 1.86 billion, I feel like they're going to stretch those numbers up a little bit.
Yeah, I know. That could make their put their fees up a little bit,
I don't pay it, so go for it.
But even so, Microsoft and AWS, 22% growth with Microsoft at 27 billion, AWS 20% growth at 21 billion. Even Stevens there, really. I mean, they're kind of level pegging. But once again, that growth from Google Cloud at 32%, that's got to be reflective of the fact that they're, this out of the three, they're the underdogs there.
So big numbers, and go. Everyone can go and get their Oracle databases hosted on Oracle. Don't put anything else in there.
That's pretty much all you'd use it for. Get Larry another yacht.
Yeah.
Yeah. Awesome. All right. Well, let's move on to this next item. This item piqued my interest. So this is Biden admin's cloud security problem. It could take down the internet like a stack of dominoes. So what the US is proposing to do, and this is quite of a lengthy article. I don't profess to have digested every nuance of this article, but what they're proposing to do is introduce regulations around the security implementation in cloud vendors.
Yeah, which makes sense, right? I think that this, and you're right, this is a super detailed article by Politico.
Yeah.
It does make sense. If you think of how big AWS, Microsoft, GCP are, they are big targets.
Yep, and the thing is, up to now, that something that is pointed out in this article is they've not been very transparent about what they are implementing to provide this security, right? It's because they've only been sort of going after the small play, like only sort of smaller enterprises and small players have been consuming cloud resources, and the cloud providers just say, don't worry about it, it's all good. Right. But there've been a few breaches, right? Now, admittedly, those breaches usually aren't the fault of the cloud provider.
Yes, usually it's been the in user space on top.
In user space, misconfigured buckets or exposed keys or something like that. But what the US government would like cloud providers to do, especially since now they're going to start moving into large enterprise and government sector, right, which we're seeing that now start to happen. They want cloud providers to be more transparent about the security that they're providing and give a tool set so that it can be interrogated.
I mean, I think this is a better set of policies. No matter, obviously it has to be vetted out, and then how do you implement and stuff. But it makes more sense than what we were seeing from Australia. It was like, well, it all has to be hosted in the country. That's the way to have it secure. Physically in the country.
Right. You're right.
That didn't make sense, but this could.
It is a much better approach. Yeah, you're right. It's a much better approach. Take a quote from the article here. The cloud has become essential to our daily lives. Well, we know that. Kembra Walden, the acting national cyber director, said in an interview, if it is disrupted, it could create large potential catastrophic disruptions to our economy and to our government.
Yeah, well, and telecommunications providers are regulated. Power companies are regulated.
Yep.
Yeah. Same sort of thing.
Yeah. No, you're right. And we've seen the impact of this, right? I mean, you get one push to a repo for Cloudflare, and look what happens, right? Keys, server-side encryption keys are exposed, and everyone has at it. And the AWS outages that have happened.
Mm-hmm.
Take the entire eastern seaboard offline.
Yeah, because it'll be the AWS components go, but then everyone else who relies on that as maybe not where their application is in their entirety, but some critical part of your application does use an AWS service, and
it's a house of cards.
Yeah.
One of the other things that they are concerned about as well is cyber criminal groups also regularly rent infrastructure from US cloud providers to steal data or extort companies.
And that makes sense too, right? Especially, a lot of people, we do the, geo fencing, right? You would say don't accept any IP addresses from, Russia or China, or, you implement those real kind of brute policies, but it's very easy to just redirect your traffic around. And if that's okay, I spin up an instance on DigitalOcean, and then I VPN to it, and then I pop out with a US IP address, off we go. Yeah. And they're using stolen financial information and stolen credit cards to do this, so there's no paper trail back to them. It's interesting though, if they're implementing a full KYC or know your customer approach, if you were creating a bank account or something, maybe that'll be the way they want to go. It does make me a little bit antsy though about how the cloud providers might then need to have my passport photo, and given how many leaks we've had for that kind of information here recently. Aren't we trying to prevent that now? Aren't we trying to stop that? 100 points of ID. Well, that ID has been, thrown out the window. Among other steps, the Biden administration originally said it will require cloud providers to verify the identity of their users to prevent foreign hackers from renting space on the US cloud service. So, exactly how they're going to do that, we don't know. Maybe you could, just spitballing here, and obviously that this is talking about America and not Australia, but, Banky, if you use the new, MyGov ID, and so this is the authentication feature that you can use for accessing like your tax returns and doing a whole bunch of different things. But when you first get the app, it has like a kind of a basic identity strength, it sends you a text or whatever, and that's just okay. So next time they use it to identify, it says, okay, yes, it's a basic one. You click OK, and you can get in. That's great.
Yeah.
But if you want to do more sensitive things, you need to increase the identity strength in the app. So, using Medicare,
you go to standard,
or you go to standard, or I put a few. Like mine is set to strong, because to do a few things that are. Just a few things you require at that level. It's like, so they need to confirm that your ID is strong enough. And then that way it's just kept within this app. I wonder if that would be something that could be used, like they could make that available to other companies. Like link your MyGov ID.
Right. So they federate to it and then you use that as your authorization.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because then, like I trust the government to have my passport ID because it comes from the government. Right?
Yeah,
that's okay. I'm not giving that to a third party. If I can prove my identity with all of my government identification, driver's licenses, Medicare, all the things that come from them, like they can get that any time. I'm not really concerned about that being linked from them. I would prefer to just have that federated through Gov, I guess.
Yeah. It's a good idea, and I kind of thought that's where they were heading with it, but I don't think they're quite there yet.
Maybe not. Maybe it ends up being. Hey, do you remember there was it was like 20 years ago. They were going to have like the Australia card, like it was the identification. I guess that's where we're at now. MyGov ID is the Australia card.
That's basically what it is. Yeah. The privacy advocates are up in arms. We can't go down, American, because it's American social security system, right? You have your social security ID. It's effectively what it was. We're going to know, the government's going to know all about you. Well, too bad. They already know, or they already do. Anything they need to know, they already know it.
Yeah. The police may not know what you're up to, but the ATO sure does.
Yeah, that's right. Well, at least this is it's opt-in, right?
Yes.
But in order to do stuff, you have to opt in. So,
if you want to be a functioning member of society, you got to opt in.
You got to opt in, yeah.
Sidetracked a little bit there, but
no, you're absolutely right. It shoehorned. It sort of dovetails into the security talk. Just moving on. Another quote from the article here: cloud services can take a lot of the security burden off end users. Yeah, true. By relieving them of difficult and time-consuming security practices, like applying patches and software updates, said Walden. Many small businesses and other customers simply lack the expertise and resources to protect their own data from increasingly adept hackers. Now, I wanted to point this out because what cloud services are enabling, they're an enabler. That's exactly what they are. They're enabling people that wouldn't normally have access to these kind of tools, they're getting access to them, right? And it's great. Let's have a bucket. We'll just put all our files in a bucket, and then everyone can get in there and get them. That's great. But
but Keith doesn't have an account, and so he can't get to it. Like, I'll just make it public. I'll make it open.
Just make it public, and it stays like that forever. And they're not. They're not the people that are thinking about these things all the time. It's not their sort of purview to be security conscious. They've got their job to do.
Yeah.
And this is the situation we end up in. You get laymen doing this kind of work and you have insecure environments.
They do make it very easy for you to do that. And like they're, I think having it, okay, at least now we have like buckets are private by default. You have to kind of go out of your way to make them public, but I guess they definitely kind of need to keep that front and center for people. Like, hey, as you know, anybody on the internet can get this.
Yeah. So that being its greatest strength is also its greatest weakness.
Yeah.
It's very easy to get access to, but it's also really easy to stuff up, right? I guess another point they're making in this article is the fact that cloud vendors they don't give you the full suite, right? So that they'll give you enough to hang a carrot in front of you, and then if you want to, you want the extra, you want the feature that actually does the thing that you want, but you're going to have to pay for that, right? And they point out the SolarWinds hack attack where they can't remember details now. They put an infection in a zip file that got distributed or something.
Yeah,
and then,
it was through the RMM, which is like an MSP tool. Yeah, remote management.
So apparently it's come out in the wash if they'd paid Microsoft for the enhanced data logging features, they would have detected that.
I mean, they would have logged it, whether or not they necessarily would have captured it.
Well, I'm not familiar with what the enhanced data logger features are, but possibly there's some sort of alerting on that. So they give you just enough.
Yeah, like you can have more, but it's plus.
Just enough rope to hang yourself with. Yeah. That's basically what it is. And the other thing I found surprising is in the United States, we don't have a national regulator for cloud. That's fair enough. I don't think most countries don't. We don't have a ministry for communication. That I found surprising.
No, they have like the FCC, I think.
Right.
Federal Communications Commission, those guys.
Right, okay.
I think that's like the guys who regulate the internet and frequencies and stuff, but I guess not compute.
Yeah, and are they sort of embedded with the current government?
No, I think they're kept at arm's length. I don't think you have in the parliamentary system, you have like a minister in charge.
A minister for communication, that's right.
Yeah, I don't think so. It's more like you're just have an appointee to the commission.
Who, I don't want to get political here, but our local member, Victor Dominello, he's the guy.
Friend of the pod.
Well, the thing is, we've got a vote on Saturday. So New South Wales has to vote on Saturday, and he's retiring from politics, and he's our local member. But he's the guy that basically drove Service New South Wales. So I don't know if you're aware of the Service New South Wales app. So it's like was a game changer for dealing with the New South Wales government. You do all your registration, you do anything you need to do dealing with the government, you do most of it through the app now.
Right, yeah. We have, like I'm Victoria, so we have Service Victoria.
Right.
But I don't know where it was. Service New South Wales like the first one?
First, yeah, that's right. There's a point I was going to make. Service New South Wales was the first one, and then Victoria, and now the Gov ID that we talked about before, that they're all taking the same sort of technology and is being driven down from what's happened, the experience of Service New South Wales. All thanks to Victor Dominello. He was the Minister of Communications in New South Wales, but he's now retiring from politics. So, going to miss him, and it's going to be really interesting to see what happens in that space without him around. But anyway,
you've got me flicking through the Service Victoria app now, and I just found like a whole thing of like register your absence from residence. So if you're leaving your house for a period of time, apparently you should just let the cops know. I didn't realize that was a thing.
They've added all these things. So your driver's license in there now, white card, COVID, your COVID certificates in there. If you want to sign into a club, you do it from the app as well because registered clubs are. I mean,
that was when we did all our COVID licenses.
COVID check-ins were done in there.
Yeah. I can register a party with the Party Safe program.
But getting back to identification, you had to do the whole identification, jump through all the hoops to get the identification on that app. But that was before GovID was around. Right. But if that was to be done again, and we hope we won't need to do it again, but yeah, that's right. Let's hope the GovID app has an API and you would just federate and go.
But no, you know what'll end up happening? It'll be like, no, we can't sign you in because that's a federal responsibility and we're only the states. You end up with one of those situations.
A person's a person, right? It doesn't matter where they live, right?
Yeah, but governments only have so much purview.
Yeah. All right, look, there's a few other things I wanted to go through in there, but I think we spent enough time talking about that. One thing here, they did it in 2017. They did do a study, and they found if any one of the three, this is 2017, mind you, if any one of the three big cloud providers went out, completely out, for anywhere between 3 to 6 days, it'd probably cost the country, this is the US, $15 billion.
Actually seems kind of low.
Well, like I said, it's 2017, 6 years ago.
Yeah,
so you could probably put a zero behind that now.
Yeah, I was going to say at least 100 billion, I reckon.
Yeah, so that was the other little interesting thing that came out of that. All right, look, we've probably talked about that enough. Yeah. Let's move on. Let's talk about Meta.
Oh,
talk about Meta again. Meta.
Oh, job cuts.
Yeah, so they're gone for round 2.
Ding, ding.
Yep. So on Tuesday, it announced it would cut 10,000 jobs.
It was on top of the 11 they've already done, right?
Yep. Making it the first big tech company to announce a second round of mass layoffs as the industry braces for deep economic downturn. But the stock market liked it. The shares jumped 6% on the news.
I suppose because it puts the revenue per employee up because their numbers lower. Okay, that's right.
Yeah.
It's an interesting graph that Reuters has there.
Yeah, Q1 2022 is a drop, and then there's a sudden spike just going by the time you hit Q4. So they're predicting. They're saying tech companies have led the way, shedding more than 290,000 workers since the start of 2022.
That's a lot of talent flooding back into the pool. That's
right. Most of them replaced with chatbots.
Yes, potentially. It seems like they're cutting a lot that are outside. Like they're cutting engineers, but it's a lot of the non-engineering roles. I mean, recruitment and HR copping a massive, stab at that. I guess if they're not recruiting as much, they don't need massive recruiting teams.
Yeah, so they do say the widely anticipated job cuts are part of a restructuring that will see the company scrap hiring plans for 5,000 openings, kill off lower priority projects, and flatten layers of middle management. Yeah, it's always the middle management that cops it, right?
Yeah.
We don't need all of them. Don't say anything about engineers in there, although they probably fall into this killing off lower priority projects.
Potentially.
Yep. Not the metaverse, though. Got to keep the metaverse.
There was an interesting point, though, on this article where it was talking about the earlier cuts in February, where they were having their year of efficiency with cost controls and job cuts, but also a $40 billion share buyback.
Right.
Like
trying to prop up their share price again.
Yeah. Yes, it's going to put your share price up, but what are you doing with that money? That's just you got cash on hand, you're buying the shares back. That's what you're doing.
Yeah, where are you getting the $40 billion from? Yeah. Shed 20,000 staff, maybe that'll help.
Yeah, potentially.
All right, the moment we've all been waiting for. Let's get on with the AI wars. Oh, golly gee gosh, what a fortnight in AI. I went to, this is not the AI show, but it's becoming the AI show.
It's the only thing that's happening right now.
It really is the only thing that's happening right now.
It's job losses and AI, that's the two things.
We're getting replaced by the machines. That's what's happening.
Future.
I went looking for story articles pretty much straight after our show the other week, and there wasn't much. And then it must have been that night, which was like the day in the US, that Google dropped the big news about their generative AI. But we'll go through it. I've been playing around with a few other AI things as well. But I went through, and in the last fortnight, I made a little list here of what we've seen happen in the last fortnight.
All right.
Now, starting last Monday, so the show would have come out on Friday. We had the weekend, and then on Monday, right, straight away, we've had Stanford University. They launched an AI language model called Alpaca 7B. Now, Alpaca 7B, it's trained on it's 52,000 instructions. It's a quite a lightweight model, and you can run it on your own computer. There's a GitLab. I'll link the GitLab in the show notes. But you can just download the GitLab, and then there's a blob file, like a 4 gig blob file that you've got to download as well. And you get that. They give you a torrent link to download that. And you just run this chat thing. Just chat. Okay, so, so this is it, Dave. So I've just pulled this down from GitHub. Mm-hmm. And there's this language model, 4 gig language model file.
Yep.
And all I do is I just run chat, spins it up.
So it pulls the model in and
then I have a chat window. Hello. Takes a second. Hello.
Ooh.
Are you a chatbot? No, I am not a chatbot, but an AI assistant who can understand natural language and provide answers to questions. Okay.
Hello.
Yeah, so it's a chatbot in your in like an AI assistant in your computer.
That's kind of cool.
And that, all right. So if I said something, what is golf? I don't know why golf. What? Okay.
What golf?
What golf? Yeah. There we go. It's telling me what golf is. Golf is played in either 9 or 18 holes of various lengths in order for players. Seems to know all about golf. So you can play it. All right. Tell me about the Commodore 64 computer. Because once again, that's the first thing that just popped into my head. Commodore 64, C64 is an 8-bit home micro introduced in January of 1982 by Commodore International and one of the most popular computers during its time. Seems to know all about that as well.
You're throwing me like, how has it got all this random information? All right, have you done some checking and you knew that was preceded in there? Or?
No, I didn't. I just popped into my head. So this is a GitHub here. Run a fast GPT-like model locally on your device. The screencast below is not sped up and running on an M2 MacBook Air with 4 gig of weights. Build instructions for Mac, right? So this combines a Lambda foundational model with an open reproduction of Stanford's Alpaca, a fine-tuning of the base model to obey instructions akin to the RLHF used to train ChatGPT, a set of modifications to llama.cpp to add a chat interface.
That's amazing.
That's it. It was as simple as a Git clone, and then I just had to do a build, like make build.
And getting that blob file.
And get the blob file. That's it, done. I didn't have any build errors. You can run it on your phone, by the way. This is a screenshot of someone running it on their phone.
Whoa.
Yeah. You're quite amazing, right? So that was Monday, okay? That was Monday.
So that was the only interesting thing that happened in AI this week, right?
That's the only interesting thing. We'll get there, right? Yeah. Tuesday. Now, Tuesday was a big day, right? So Tuesday, Google announces generative AI inside Workspace tools, right? That's a big thing.
That's a big one.
That's a big one, right?
It's going to be in your email. It's going to be in your docs.
We'll get into this a bit later. This is why AI interests us, right?
Yeah.
Google announced the next release of Palm AI. Now, also on Tuesday, Anthropic, we know about Anthropic, they released Claude API, their version of a chatbot. Now, Claude is their chatbot, but it's only available by API, right? So that could open it up for other organizations to resell it or whatever. GPT-4 lands. This is on Tuesday. All this happened on the same day.
That wasn't your grandfather's ChatGPT.
That wasn't your chat. And Microsoft confirmed that Bing has been using ChatGPT-4 for the last 5 weeks. So you've been using it all along.
Microsoft with the hipster move, like, we've been using ChatGPT for ages.
That's right.
Before it was cool.
Now, I can't help think that Google have just really put the curry into this, and they've gone and they've had to announce this AI workspace thing because they've got to get in, right? They're missing the boat. That's
absolutely
really why they're
scrambling.
They were scrambling, yeah. Now, hold your breath, right? Because that was Tuesday, right? Wednesday comes along, and Midjourney. I don't know if you ever played with Midjourney. That's the generative AI thing. You do it in Discord. So it's a Discord server, and you put in your prompt, and then it generates an image for you. Well, they announced a thing called Midjourney Magazine, and it's going to be an e-magazine that's got a collection of artwork that everyone has been generating, the best of. And they launched Midjourney version 5. So a whole new one, right? And they announced that the API is coming soon. And mate, the Midjourney images, I don't have any ready here to go, Dave, but the Midjourney images are stunning. Midjourney 5 image. Yeah. They are absolutely stunning. It does hands a lot better. I don't know if you've seen
I've seen some of the hands, awful hands things. They look like those you ever seen
looks like the alien face huggers.
Have you seen the what are the images that are made, especially like the biblically accurate angels that are just like feathers and eyes, like millions of eyes?
Creepy. Right, so that was Wednesday.
Okay.
Thursday, Microsoft had to get in on the game here, right? Microsoft announces Office 365 CoPilot. Now, they've made a big song and dance about this, and they've actually, I think, they've given us a lot more details on what it's going to do compared to the Workspaces toolset.
Yeah, because it seemed like the Microsoft one, they were like, this is our plan. We're going to release on this date. We've been working towards here.
Yep.
Whereas Google is like, what's almost ready for prime time? Okay, get it out there.
Yeah, Google have been caught off guard, been caught with their pants down. There's no question about this. Like, Microsoft had all this lined up, boom, 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 and now it's a scramble to try and catch up. It's unfortunate because Google have been working for so long with Vertex AI and all the rest of it.
Amazing AI chops.
Yeah.
But, being first to market is a big thing.
Is the big thing, right? Now, there's a Chinese company called Baidu. Also on Thursday, they announced their chatbot, which is called Ernie. I don't know much about this, but apparently they didn't do a live demonstration of it. It was all like pre-canned and pre-sequenced and pre-cut video. So no one liked it, and their share price took a dive because of it. But you're not playing the game. Friday. Let's get on to Friday. So that's 4 days so far. Mm-hmm. Right? Friday, Stable Diffusion. They launch a new thing called Reimagine. So that's a image generating tool. I've not really used it. It's made by Reimagine. Yeah, so Stable Diffusion Reimagine. Stability AI is excited to announce the launch of Stable Diffusion Reimagine. We invite users to experiment with image and reimagine their designs through Stable Diffusion. So you can take an image and you can say, I don't want this picture to be like those set of colors. I want it to be another set of colors. Or
that's really cool. If you could go and like take photos of your house, you're choosing paint.
Yeah.
Right. The annoying thing, you get the little sample pot and you paint like awful,
a little thing
gross splotches everywhere around.
Yeah.
Like, just take some photos and go, show it to me in puce.
Yeah.
Actually,
I'd like a winter color set, please. A winter palette. Yes. And boom, it changes.
Yeah. I'm feeling autumnal today.
And so on their website here, they've got examples of like fashion where they've got, a photo, a woman's got a photo and she wants to do her hair different ways. So the AI just has a different haircut.
Oh, nice.
Photo. And it looks superb, absolutely superb.
I can see what I would look like without balding.
So that was Friday. Now, Monday, we get a couple of days off.
Oh,
right?
that's nice. So we had the weekend on. No, AIs don't work on Saturdays and Sundays.
That's right.
Yeah. It's got an RDO.
This is coming into this week, right? Monday. Runway Research launched Gen 2, which is a new text-to-video thing. Have you seen this?
No, I have not seen it. I can't.
It is off the hook, right? We're
going to have to turn this from being like a podcast to being like a YouTube show so we can have video as well.
So I won't go into this too much now, but you can generate videos and it's just getting so good. Like full high definition videos. They're a bit framey at the moment and a bit sort of got a bit of an artistic vibe to them. But boy, if you look at the rapid rate of image generation, how quickly that happened, it won't be long till you've got full video quality videos and you won't be able to tell the difference. But that's what this Gen 2 does, made by Runway Research.
Jeez. I'm looking at the website. That's bonkers.
It's crazy, isn't it? Yeah. So go and check that one out. Now, I've still got a few more days to go. Tuesday, Adobe launched a thing called Firefly. Have you seen this? Now, this is generative AI, and so what you've been able to do with Adobe for a while is they've got stock footage, stock images you can buy as like an editor. Well, you don't need that anymore. You just prompt it, and it creates the image for you with a prompt from AI.
Nice.
Now the cool thing about this is, and they don't show it here. It was in another video I had. Oh, yes, you can see it here, how it's like he's marked that area. It's identified like lighthouse, and then you can just change the lighthouse out like that. Right? Right? And then they don't show it here, I don't think, but there's a bunch of switches down the side, and you can say, oh, I want this to be the season, like winter, summer, autumn, and it'll change the image, or I want it to be raining. You know, you can set the weather, or you can set like particular characteristics on that image. You just have like a drop down and just flick it, and then boom, it changes it. Right. And then another thing it does is it gives you another little select box. So it's got like 6 alternate images. So you can click on that, pulls that one in, and then it generates like the 6 next one. So you can like keep steering your creative decisions towards where you want to go.
Ah, so clever.
Adobe Firefly. Go and have a look at that one. Yeah. Very, very clever. Now, to get this one, you need to have the Adobe, their Adobe Suite account. You got to have the full Adobe, and you got to apply to join the beta. There was a time I had that when I was doing some video stuff, but I don't use it anymore. Otherwise, I'd be giving it a go because that looks fantastic. Now, the thing about Adobe Firefly that's different to the others is they're pulling images from their back catalog. They're using their data sets trained with their back catalog of images, right?
Okay, yep.
And they're going to credit and pay the original image owners.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, so if an AI image, if their image was used to generate an AI image and then a sale is generated from that, a couple of cents goes towards the original image owner.
That's pretty revolutionary.
Yeah, but they can do that because they've got the data set.
Yeah.
Right, and they know who owns all the images.
So you could see like, I guess, a Shutterstock or any of the other like stock image websites probably doing a similar thing.
Yeah, so I did hear about Shutterstock. They are going to do a similar sort of thing. They're going to use something like ChatGPT-4 because it's got image generation in it now. And they have said that they are actually they're going to have data sets that have been generated on publicly licensed images. Right, so you can choose to do an AI generation, but you know that the source images are public.
Right, okay.
Right, so you're not using licensed images. So that gets around that whole licensing problem that we talked about a few weeks ago.
It's really maturing. It's great.
And very, very quickly as well. Now, that also on Tuesday, we had the GTC conference. Now, this is I haven't really dived into this yet, but this is NVIDIA's conference on AI. And the big news out of the GTC conference is that NVIDIA announced AI Foundations, a thing called AI Foundations. And what it is you can get access to NVIDIA's AI generative systems via the cloud providers, Google, Azure, and Oracle. And then you can train your own language model based on that.
Oh.
Right, so this is a service that NVIDIA is going to provide to get access to their, their infrastructure.
Yep.
To train your models.
Give them access to your data lake.
Yeah, that's right. And it'll be like another API available in your cloud provider. But there's stacks of stuff that came out of that GTC conference, and we can't go into all here, but go up and have a look at the keynote that was given. I'll try and find a link for that and put it in the show notes. But that is going to be a very interesting thing that's available to the AI proponents in each of the cloud providers. Now, one of the other things that has also been launched, if on Tuesday, right? If you had access to Bing Chat, which I do, you now will have access to generative AI image creation within Bing. So, yeah, it gives you another interface where I just said, create me an image of a spaceman walking on a moon, cinematic. And Dave immediately pointed out that the spaceman's walking on the moon and the moon is behind him in the skyline.
Okay. I suppose technically you didn't specify that it was like our moon, like lunar.
No, you're right.
It could have been a moon with another moon behind, a moon of a moon.
This could happen, yes. But that was really easy to do. Just get into the image creator. When you get into the chat, there's a button to go to image creator. And it took a while, though, to create it. And I just left the window open, and the thing was spinning. It was saying creating image. And I just left it and walked away. But then I checked my email a couple of hours later and said, your images are ready.
Ooh, they have been baked.
In the email. Yeah, they have been baked.
Ding.
So that works surprisingly well. It was probably a little bit easier to use than Midjourney. I don't know. I haven't had a good look at what these images are like, but I mean, they're not bad, If I was writing a song and wanted to have a little image for something in Spotify, I'd probably do, Yeah.
Ask it to recreate some famous album covers. Like, give me the the Pink Floyd one as the dude on fire.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Wish You Were Here?
Your image is being created by AI. Simple as that. Now, like I said, when I did this before...
I was Wish You Were Here. I am great.
Yeah, nice. They don't make album covers like that anymore.
Nobody makes album covers at all. GPT now.
Here we go. Yeah, okay. So it hasn't quite picked up on the Pink Floyd flaming guy on fire. But, it's cartoon style, and it's someone it's got the sentiment of Wish You Were Here.
Yeah. Looks kind of cute.
Kind of cute, yeah. And then it keeps that in my recent history, right? I mean, these aren't the highest quality images, so like in terms of like number of pixels, 1024 by 1024. So, for social media, this kind of thing is just fine. Yeah, so there was that. And then finally on Tuesday, Google opens up Bard.
Kind of. Limited.
Kind of.
Opens it a little bit.
Now we've asked for access.
Yeah.
Haven't got it. Probably not going to get it. But Bard, I don't know. It's a bit, from what I'm hearing, it's
got some rough edges.
And it suffers from hallucinations, and it's forgetful. So from what I hear, you'll be in a conversation and you try to get, a stream of text going, and it just forgets where it's up to, and goes off on some tangent.
I mean, I have that problem too. So
yeah, all the time.
Bard has ADD. It's okay.
So yeah, Google is treading really really tenuously with that one. Now,
but it's early days, right? I mean, it's the whole market's rapidly evolving. So let's see where we're at in 6 months. 6 months ago, we weren't talking about any of this. So
yeah, just to go back and focus on Google for a sec. The company introduced generative AI capabilities to Google Cloud's Vertex AI platform. This is an article on Technology Decides. I'll link in the show notes. Which is used to build and deploy machine learning models and AI applications at scale. We know about Vertex AI. So that's one thing that they announced. And they also introduced AI-powered features in Google Workspace, right, including the ability to instantly generate a draft on a selected topic such as welcome letter for new employees. Now, I don't know about the Google integrated AI, but for the Office 365 integrated AI, they've integrated their entire product suite, and it sounds, I hate to say it, it sounds fantastic. Like, so if you were an organization and you trained your AI model on your internal data,
your entire document stack, like
all your document stack, right? Suddenly you've got, that's so useful, right? You want to create a solution architecture definition, right? Well, you've got 100 solution architecture definitions that have been created before. Just spin me one up or spin me up a template, and boom, there you go. You've got 90% of the document already done. You just got to go back and fill in the details, right? And it integrates with Teams. So, and I'm assuming Google will do the same and integrate with Calendar and what's it called this week? Groups or chat or
I still don't know what to call it.
I still don't know what to call it.
No,
Meet?
the other one.
The other one, the chat one. Anyway, so think about that, right? You've got this assistant integrated with Teams that's sending you messages saying, "Oh, there was a meeting on that you missed. It's done, it's done text to speech, and it's summarized. It says, Bob said he was going to do this, and the guys would like you to do this. Okay, easy, done.
Yeah.
Whoa, this is a whole new world. I try to explain to my father-in-law, because he's more or less retired now, right? I'm trying to say, when we work now, it's completely different. Right, I don't even know the phone numbers of the peers that I work with. Right, it's all done in instant messaging and video conferencing, and he doesn't get it. He's like, "Well, don't you need to be in an office to see people?" I was like, "No, so I don't have to do that." This is the next level. This is the next thing. It's just going to completely transform the way we do things. To say I'm a little bit excited about it is an understatement.
It's going to be a paradigm shift in tech.
Yeah.
That's for sure.
Yep. So that's Google. I'll also link an article on Microsoft CoPilot in Office 365. It does go into a lot of detail about what it actually can do.
Yep.
And if we get even half those features in Google Workspace, it'll be very, very exciting. But what Google is doing is offering some bonuses for any startups in the AI space. Google Cloud is expanding a financial opportunity. This is an article on Channel Futures. Google Cloud is expanding a financial opportunity, a variety of partners as it pursues its generative AI ambitions. AI startups from seed to Series A now may take advantage of Google for Startup Cloud programs. Here's what it entails. So you get credits. So you get $250,000 in cloud credits. Now, if you're thinking of using VMWARE engine, that's probably not going to go very far.
No, that won't cover you. But if you want to use some Cloud Run, it's going to get you a long way.
Going to get you a long way. TPUs, don't know. GPUs, they can be a bit expensive as well, but that's probably what you want. But that is 2.5 times the amount we typically offer startups. $250,000 US. Yeah, it'll go a long way. You're going to get free customer care and support. Now that's a biggie as well. Google Cloud now offers around-the-clock technical support as AI startups work with Google Cloud, and you'll get access to Google Cloud experts and community. That might be us, Dave. I think they're including us in that.
Potentially, yes.
Partners can access various Google Cloud managers, engineers, and networking events. exciting stuff from Google there. They really want to up the ante. I reckon if Microsoft weren't offering something like this as well, I'd be very, very surprised.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah. So that's what's coming from Google for that. Exciting stuff, Dave.
Big time.
Big time. Go away and have a play with some of those things.
I will. Yeah, and I think I've seen. I've been getting a notification in my Fusion 360. I think that AutoCAD has a few generative design things going in there now, which it costs a whole bunch more to get access to that than what I'm willing to pay for. But
yeah,
certainly might help from a time to design perspective.
Yeah, well, if you can use it to kick off sort of the base of the design, and then you just iterate on it from there.
Yeah, or you can do some things where you're like, hey, I have this design, but I need to make it a little bit more friendly to being 3D printed. Help me with that. Or I'd like it to be a bit more lightweight. Give you some alternatives.
Yep, exciting stuff. Well, we might leave it there. I think we've talked about AI and the rest of it.
I think we've just talked in general for long enough.
I'm exhausted after that list. When I was putting that list together, I was just flabbergasted at what's happened in the last fortnight. But, it ain't stopping.
Nope.
It ain't stopping. All right, guys, don't forget, go to iTunes, write a review for the show. It'll really help the show out. You can contact the show, gcplife@kasdan.com. We've got the Twitter there @gcplife. And if you Google us, you'll find the website as well. I might go and plug the name of the show into a few AIs and see what it says about us. I might say, those guys. And don't forget, today's show was sponsored by Kasna. At Kasna, we make your Google Cloud solutions possible. I think that's it from us. How about you, Dave?
Nope, that's it for me.
That's it from me as well. We'll catch you next week. Bye. Awesome. Stopping.
Hour and 15.
Underprepared show.